This week in gaming, Ubisoft continues its campaign to be the worst gaming company in 2026. Life is Strange gets a new game, and Xbox delivers a strong developer direct. This is the NerdCave News, and I am one of your hosts, Zach Dykes, joined by my good friend and co-host, Derek Daniel. Derek, how's it going, my dude?
Going pretty good, man. So it's we finally are talking about some gaming news for once. With it's still a little bit of the negativity. We're continuing our trend of 2026, I feel like, but we got some actual games to look at tonight, some interesting ones. One to kind of bury the lead. The first one I'm very interested to get your thoughts on because it's a series very much beloved to you. For you played it since the first one, so I'm interested to get your thoughts and opinions on this, but that will be later because we have to talk about what we're playing right at this moment. And I already know what I saw your video, like the title and whatever. So we can both say we played Expedition 33 this past week. Me, I didn't play a lot on yesterday, but I have progressed the story. Like I'm in the mid 30s now for the levels. I did get the last party member of the game, so they're very interesting. Like each one of them has their own shtick. This one is very interesting because they don't rely on skill points to get skills. They have another mechanic that they rely on. I'm not going to spoil that since you started your run on the game. It's a very different, interesting mechanic to learn skills. And now I'm on the mission I have to create this great weapon to help take down the paintress, but it requires two of these ancient beasts that you have to fight. I took down the first one. Very interesting mechanic because they gives you the option just to go straight there, or you can explore on the different paths. And if you do, you get the fight becomes much easier. So rather than if you just go straight there, I almost want to I almost wish I created a separate save file to try it and just to see how much of a difficulty spike was there if you just go straight to that boss, but we'll see. But I'm on the second one. I'm on the second island now with the second creature. Also different, very interesting and different, island, different vibes. So I'm interested to see how, I stopped right before I entered the boss room. So I'm interested to see how that fight is going to go. I also did fight the next chromatic enemy in the series. My God, that is ridiculous. Like it's called the chromatic Ramasur. And when the fight started, it's even though, I got in the first hit, it kind of lets you go first. I also the Ramasur went first, and he did like a 7-hit combo, and I'm dodging it. I kind of got a couple hits. Kind of got hit a couple times. I'm like, all right, whatever. Then he goes again and does a 4-hit combo, and I'm like, okay, dodge that. And then he goes again and does this big windup. That's an insta kill on your party member. I'm like, what is happening? So he just keeps going. Like I don't get a turn, and he wipes out my whole party. And it asks, do you want to bring in the reserves, like the other members of your party? I'm like, no, they're just going to get killed. Like I don't understand what's going on.
Yeah.
And I just it keeps asking, like, are you sure you want to exit this fight? I'm like, yes, get me out of this, loop. And then I looked it up finally. I was just like, oh, it's one of those shticks where you have to parry all his attacks. And if you do that now, of course, if you parry every successful attack, you do damage right back to him. Sometimes I didn't get all the parry. Sometimes I did get hit. But if you counter him enough, you break him and you stun him, and then your party gets to go. And just pretty much wail on him. So it gives you, at least with my experience, once you break him, you get at least one turn with each member in your party. So, and then sometimes you can get like a 4th or 5th turn, depending on how much you stunned him. But I finally beat him, but it was just like that whole sequence was just like, when is it my turn? Like, come on, man. Like, this is ridiculous. And I guess this is my biggest gripe with the game is like, I wish with enemies like that, because they're like, I know they're optional bosses, but if they're going to have unique takes like that or unique mechanics, you need to tell somebody. Like just a way to figure. Like, obviously, I'm more of a dodger than a parrier.
Mhm.
My
It's a
gradient
bigger window. There's more grace to it.
exactly. Well, and it's like the gradient counter. Like it's pretty much like a grand parry, but it gives you a bigger window and it gives you a cue to be able to do that. Whereas parry, you just kind of have to like follow the cadence of the attacks. But I digress. I do wish that they would kind of give you a hint, and maybe if I died enough times, it would tell me that. But I wasn't patient enough for that. I'm like, look, you're doing the OTK like insta kill, like it was just ridiculous. But I beat him, thank God. And now I'm just like I said, I'm outside the second boss, or like the second ancient creature
Mhm.
area. So I'm excited to see how that story progresses. It's also interesting because they introduce a relationship mechanic with because they give you with the gradient counters or no actually with the you learn another gradient like attack.
Mm.
It's not a counter, it's an attack once you build up a meter, and you can build it up 3 times. And I'm like, okay, why is that significant? I thought it was just to have like since each member of your party has a gradient attack, you can use it like if you build it up to 3, each one can attack and it does like ultra damage. But the nice thing about it is if you have enough to use a gradient attack, you can use it and still get your turn with that character. It doesn't like,
Oh, that's cool.
and it just uses the bar. It doesn't use any action points off your meter, um,
Okay.
which is super powerful. But if you increase, so it's only when you go to camps, like you increase, like even with there's a character that pretty much transports you, helps you transport throughout the world. Definitely interact with them because it increases the characters for your like for one of the characters in your party. But if you interact with as the leader, if you interact with each member of your party, the relationship goes up. And if you get it to a certain point, they learned a new gradient attack. So you can learn
Mm.
you can have when you look at the skill tree, you can have 3 of them, and each one like of course each one will cost more like like the first one you get only costs 1 bar. Second one you get you have to have 2 bars in order to use it. So I'm sure the last one you use you have to have all 3 bars used up or pretty much full to use that attack, which I'm sure is ultra powerful.
Yeah.
But so strengthening your relationship gives you more of those gradient attacks for each of the characters, so it gives you more of a variety of skills to use. But yeah, so really still digging the game, really loving it, man. Like, so let's turn it over to you. What has been your experience? Like I said, I saw you started streaming it on Tuesday.
Mhm.
Did you just start over from the beginning?
Yeah, I started over on the beginning because the first time I played it, I was on Xbox. So I was playing through Game Pass. This time I'm on PlayStation, getting those trophies, which is nice.
Mhm.
So restarted it so everybody on stream could experience the gomage and
Yep.
everything.
Super
Found
emotional.
super emotional. I found a little Easter egg.
What,
Found
the
a little
mime?
not the mime. There's a door that you can interact with
Mm-hmm.
in before you go to the like actual gomage and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And it's 2 people doing adult wrestling. Um and you hear the adult wrestling and I'm streaming this because like I saw someone's like, oh, if you
It's
try
God of War Ragnarok all over again, or God of War.
yeah, well, it's like if you like click on this 33 times, you get they give you something, but I didn't
Ah.
hear what they were doing. So I was like, oh, let's go over here. I know that there's a little secret or whatever, and I hit it, and I'm like, oh. Oh, oh, okay. So I had to literally just mute it and then just spam it. But yeah, so we went through the gomage and everything, and like knowing how to play already, like the beginning has been so much easier compared
Mhm.
to like the first time that I went through, and already getting parries pretty well, some dodges and everything, because like the first boss that you meet before you go up like the indigo tree,
Yeah.
dude, I didn't even, it was one time and I was already through it, and which was nice because I remember the first time I played it, he whooped me like nobody's business. So like just being able to like understand the combat system more made this way more enjoyable, because it's like you can get frustrated in some things, but like I love the gameplay mechanics and already understanding. It's like, okay, the pictorials and all of that sort of deal, like that's really cool. Is it an Easter egg?
Right. Feels
Yeah,
very like original trilogy God of War.
yeah, it was something, y'all. It was
Yeah.
something. But yeah, I've picked up Mael, and we're
Mhm.
about to like leave the mansion. So that's where
Ah,
we're at right now in the story. So I made pretty good progress from um you know, from beginning to, playing
yeah.
3 hours,
Yeah.
because I didn't spend any time on the map. Like once I hit
Ah,
the map, I just went straight to where
got you.
my L was and everything. I didn't, and I did fight. Like I fought pretty much everything that I came across, so I didn't like avoid things because I
Yeah.
know like the
Well,
more
that's
you
how
fight. The more you fight, the better you're going to be off down the road because you got to have
exactly
that experience.
right. Because if I say you need to get it to at least level up because you gonna struggle down the road if you don't.
Yeah, so I'm already like level 8
Okay.
or something like that. So I know from here I go to, is it the Gestrels? Is that what they're called?
Yes.
Yeah, so that's like the next place that I'll be going towards and everything. Dan, well, in a way, it does involve an egg. If you
Wow.
oh,
Wow.
with that being said, welcome to the stream, everybody. Let us know how you're doing down in the comments below and what you are playing as well. Welcome, Joe. Welcome, Mike. Welcome, Empty Box. Welcome, Dan. Welcome, Amy, and everybody else that is watching right now. So yeah, I've been enjoying that. Looking forward to playing more of it. I'm on the last episode of Dispatch, my second
Mm,
playthrough of it. I'm curious how things are going to go because I already know how it ends.
right.
So I'm wondering how my decisions
Will
uh, are
change.
are going to affect the ending because there's there's some things that I've kept from some people and some things that are being kept from me and everything. So
Mm,
it's like yeah, we don't know yet. So it's going to
yeah.
be very very interesting on that one. And then I did get Derek. I did get Death Stranding too.
Okay. All
Yeah,
right.
yeah, a little pre-birthday
Mm-hmm.
birthday gift. So that's waiting for me. I might start cranking on it tomorrow. Once I get off work, is start on that, which I'm really looking forward to because man, oh man, that first game. I want you to play it, Derek. Are you gonna play Death Stranding one day?
One day, can't tell you when, but one day I do want to play it.
Okay. Okay. So a lot of great games that are about to come out. We got 4 confirmed today.
Yeah.
Amy says, I'm enjoying the new Animal Crossing update. I'm glad that they finally put
Yeah.
some stuff out. Amy's been cranking on that Soldier Boy and just enjoying it.
I'm
So,
kind of, it's been a string because they did the Animal Crossing update. They added in a new character for Donkey Kong Country HD, and then they just
mhm.
confirmed the Mario Wonder Switch 2 update.
Mm.
So I wonder, it's been just been updates really. So my wonder is like, okay, when is Nintendo actually going to show us what we're expecting this year?
Yeah, it's like you got to start putting out some games too. You can't just
Which
update
maybe they're
everything.
taking a page from Sony because this kind of stuff like the Donkey Kong and the Mario Wonder would definitely be in one of those like little quick montage reels that they would have in
Yep.
the middle of their Nintendo Directs. So maybe they're excuse me, taking a page from Sony's playbook and getting that, just blogging about it or just saying, "Hey, it's out," rather than wasting time including that in Direct. Maybe they're actually going to increase their quality of the Directs, but Nintendo's still going to Nintendo at some point.
Yeah, WNDs,
Yeah.
always weird Nintendo decisions. Well, everybody, that is what we've been playing. Let us know what you've been playing. But now it's time for the gaming news for this week. And first up is Chloe Price returns in Life is Strange reunion this March. And are we going to read the article first and then the trailer?
Well, let's do the trailer first. I
Okay.
want to see. So, I was just going to say, speaking of games that require decisions, Zach,
I love Life is Strange. So let's check out this trailer, y'all. Oh, I remember that. The time of your life.
I thought the storm would be the worst thing to hit Caledon. But now, I only have 3 days to save everyone. Help! Moses! All that destruction, and there was nothing I could do.
You bought us time. Time that we'll make the most of.
With so many lives at stake, I need all the help I can get. Sophie?
In the flesh. If you saw this campus burn down, then it means it was supposed to happen. Who are you to stop it?
Well, that means a lot of people die.
Yeah.
Maybe this time is different?
Right when everything is falling into chaos. She walks
Chaos
in.
shows up.
She heard her cue. Chloe? How are you here?
Lots to discuss. Right now, I think we should run.
Chloe.
Let's go, Max! I have memories of things that can't possibly be true. Max, did you do this?
Your visions, the fire. We'll figure it all out.
Whatever comes next, it will happen to us.
This isn't fair. You can't have come back to me just to end up here.
Oh man, that's gonna be a tearjerker. I can already tell you that.
Wow.
Oh, you can get the classic. That's cool. That's cool. Derek, I am really excited about that.
Yeah. So let's see. Let's read this article real quick.
And this is by Marcus Stewart at Game Informer.
Okay. So the next entry is called Life is Strange Reunion. Max Caulfield returns yet again alongside her original BFF and fan favorite character, Chloe Price. Developed by Deck 9, Reunion is a direct follow-up to 2024's Life is Strange Double Exposure. Set once again in Caledon University, the school has been mysteriously set ablaze, although Max manages to escape the fire thanks to her time rewind power, which makes its full return. All of her friends, the students, and the faculty are killed. Max avoids this fate by jumping back in time through a selfie and has 3 days to uncover how the fire started to prevent the school's destruction. However, due to Max's reality-shifting actions during the events of Double Exposure, which we won't spoil, Chloe appears at Caledon University. She's understandably confused and haunted by memories of a past she never lived and needs Max's help. Players switch between controlling Max and Chloe in Reunion, offering two perspectives on the story. Max can use her rewind power to redo decisions and manipulate the environment to solve four-dimensional puzzles. Chloe, which is voiced once again by Rihanna DeVries, has her backtalk dialogue mechanic from Life is Strange Before the Storm, channeling her quick wits and attitude to steer conversations in ways Max can't, which will let Chloe access information in areas her bestie couldn't. Regardless of how the story shakes out, Deck 9 bills Reunion as the big conclusion to Max and Chloe's story. Life is Strange's Reunion is launching on March 26th for the PS5, Series X and S, and PC. Now, Zach, obviously there was some, I kind of listened to Kind of Funny's take on this, and I know they were kind of hesitant about it just because of the weird way Double Exposure handled the story of with this just minor spoiler. Apparently, Max was trying to form the Avengers essentially in that game. And then all of a sudden that just kind of goes up in smoke. And now they're here, and I'm of two minds of this. It's really like you said, like getting the one last ride with these two characters that are beloved. Like obviously, Max had her own take in Double Exposure. Chloe had her own take in Before the Storm. So, and of course, we've had some random like Life is Strange 2, Life is Strange True Colors, and some like imitators like what was that one? It was like a 3-episode one.
It was not True Colors. It was
hold on.
Yeah, I'm looking it up as well. I can't remember. The Awesome Adventures of Captain Spirit is one of them.
Yeah, that was a 1-episode spinoff.
There was another one. What is it? See, we forget things too, y'all.
Right.
Because I remember it was let's see, The Expanse. No, True Colors Remaster Collection Before the Storm. There was one that was like it was
Tell
like
Me
a brother.
Why.
Yeah, Tell Me Why. That's what it was. It was
Which
another music.
Yeah.
It was like a sibling story where
Yes.
yeah, that one was like in the middle between before True Colors, if I want to.
Yeah. I don't even remember if it was like technically in the Life is Strange universe. I don't know.
Don't think so.
So no, I think it was just like in that style of the game.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, that's beside the point. So we've had like imitators, like or like ones like share that same unit like art style, but we've had other games in that Life is Strange universe. And while it is great, with this release date being so far off now, obviously, we've had, Fallout was the first to do it, like be revealed and then be like, oh, it's out in like a couple months. However, do you feel like this will be, when it's all said and done, if it is not done right, this will be chalked up to a cash grab because of how soon, because it got revealed in late January, it's coming out in 2 months technically. And then it's like rehashing a story that, or not rehashing, but it's like finalizing the story of characters that set this whole franchise down its path.
I feel like it is trying to bring back the power of the franchise by having both Max and Chloe in it, because when I look at this series, the thing that makes it special is Max and Chloe, like the original one, and even Before the Storm, because you have Chloe and Rachel in that one. And I thought that was really good. But then you kind of stray past that. And I know True Colors was considered really good. I never got to play it, but I know Double Exposure, not a lot of people liked it.
Nope.
I know people enjoyed 2, but it's not really talked about that much. Like one is
they don't do anything with those characters after that.
Yeah, one is, I think, by far one, like it was my game of, I think, 2014, my favorite game of 2014 back then.
And the fact that it's been that long is crazy.
Yeah. And just because it has so many good twists and turns, good character moments and everything. Back to your question, though, is this a cash grab? I hope not. I hope that this is being done with love and care and actually giving us like the resolution, because if you know the story of one, again, this is the 11-year-old game, 12-year-old game at this point. Yeah. And it's like the last decision that you make is, do you save Chloe and sacrifice everybody in the town?
Right.
Or do you sacrifice Chloe and save everybody in the town? So it's like that decision. And, I save my friends. You know what I mean? Everybody else, like Derek, if it was me and you, and it was like, oh, you have to choose between Derek or a town of people that are a bunch of jerks, who do you think I'm saving? The town, because Derek.
I was gonna say the town of jerks.
But it's like, okay, we finally get this interaction again after all this time, which will be an interesting story if it is done well. If this is just rushed to try to get something out and make some money with this, then I just hope it's done well. That's what all I want is a good Life is Strange, and not just another no one's going to talk about this.
Are you I mean, obviously, I'm assuming this voice actor of Chloe was the one who voiced her in Before the Storm. But are
Mhm.
you kind of upset that for this reunion that Ashley Birch isn't going to be back to voice Chloe?
Well, I totally forgot that she did the original Chloe. I guess just because Ashley Birch money is a little bit more
I was going
than
to say it's not cheap.
you know what I mean. It's so it's like,
And,
okay, we got to work with the budget that we got, and plus, who
and I
knows
say
what?
Deck 9 money ain't like Don't Nod money.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, I felt like the lady that did Chloe in Before the Storm was excellent. So it's I don't see a big problem. But again, who knows what Ashley Birch's schedule was when they started making this game? Was there conflicts, you know, and also budget? It's like we can't, you know, Ashley Birch is pretty high on the totem pole these days.
and they're so busy doing critical roles. So
yeah, exactly. Bye townies. Exactly. I let the storm take them. That's let the storm take them.
I'm about to say, especially nosy Gretchen, like good.
Oh
riddance.
God, Gretchen sucks so much. Oh my gosh, but yeah,
what you know who sucks worse than Gretchen?
Ubisoft.
Yes,
Yves Guillemot. I don't like him. Guys, let's talk. Whoop, not that one. Let's talk about Ubisoft. Ubisoft cancels Prince of Persia remake and 5 other games as part of a major organizational reset. And this is by Tom Phillips over at IGN.
So Ubisoft has announced a sweeping company restructure that will result in the cancellation of 6 games, including the Prince of Persia: Sands of Time remake, and the delay to a further 7 titles. 2 Ubisoft studios will be closed completely as a result of the changes, while others are subject to further layoffs. Of the half dozen games that have been fully scrapped, Ubisoft is only publicly naming one today: its long-awaited Sands of Time remake that was rebooted once already. 3 of the canceled games were new IPs, while 1 was a mobile game. Ubisoft's core focus going forward, the company has said, will be on open world games and live services. Boo hiss. Ubisoft Stockholm will fully close as a result of the changes, having previously collaborated on Avatar: Frontiers of Pandora alongside mobile studio Ubisoft Halifax, news of which first broke last week. Restructurings have also taken place at Ubisoft offices in Abu Dhabi, at Trials Studio, Red Links, and at Massive, home to the Division. In addition, all teams will be required to return to in-office work 5 days a week, albeit with an annual allowance of remote working days. Quote, we went through a thorough review of projects across December and January with the current market evolution in mind, which is consistently more selective. Ubisoft's CFO, Frederick Duguet, told IGN today, you've seen the last quarter slowly showing a never-before-seen level of competition. Competition and selection is here to stay. When you are coming in number 1, number 2 with great content quality is in a given segment, then you can have a very strong reward in terms of player recognition and financial performance. Player reception and financial performance, excuse me. That's what really informed our pipeline review. We selected what would be the best projects to put in the creative houses in the best position to succeed in that market. Indeed, the shakeup comes as Ubisoft finally lays out how its global development might be split into 5 creative houses that will operate as independent business units. The first of which was detailed last year. The previously established Vantage Studios now encompasses the development of Ubisoft's 3 biggest brands: Assassin's Creed, Far Cry, and Rainbow Six. And soon the remaining divisions will take on themed groups that cover the company's remaining franchises. Creative House 2 will be dedicated to shooters and look after the Division, Ghost Recon, and Splinter Cell. Creative House 3 will focus on live experiences including For Honor, The Crew, Riders Republic, Brawlhalla, and Skull and Bones. Creative House 4 will feature narrative-driven and fantasy-oriented series including Anno, Might and Magic, Rayman, Prince of Persia, and Beyond Good and Evil. Yes, seemingly Beyond Good and Evil 2 still lives. Finally, Creative House 5 will center on family and casual gaming, including Just Dance, Uno, Hasbro, Idle Miner Tycoon, Ketchap, Hungry Shark, and Invincible guarding the globe. Now, Zach, obviously, the first thing that comes to mind is, thank God that they canceled Prince of Persia. You know what I mean? Because, I forget, we first saw this in 2020, and it was supposed to be it was late, 2020, the last quarter of the year, September, I want to say. And it was supposed to be out in January. And we both, when we both saw it, we were like, this ain't it, Chief. Take it out behind the shed and kill it. This ain't it. And it had been in development 2.5 years. They reported 2.5 years prior to them showing it in 2020. And then it went away. They heard the rumblings. They said it went away. And then, it came back a couple years later. And it's like, all right, we're rebooting, and it kind of looked a little better, but still not great. It's kind of like Metroid Prime 4 at that point. And then all of a sudden we heard mum from it. And then a couple months ago, they're like, hey, we're going to talk about it in January. And then rumblings were like, hey, it's going to be re-revealed and released in January. Like we're going to show it, and a few weeks later, it's going to be out, supposedly. That was never confirmed nor denied, but that was the heavy rumor. And then, they did a teaser where all it saw was the candle, and it's like, reveal in January. And I'm like, okay, then this is going to be a legit thing. And now they axed it. So, literally at the quote-unquote 11th hour, of showing this game off again, they killed it. And I'm kind of glad because, again, it's sort of it's what Sony should have done with Media Molecule and Dreams. They shouldn't have let the leash go so long on it, and they should just put it out to pasture. Now, should they have probably given it a chance, because Prince of Persia is one of those cult franchise hits that, people love to an extent? Maybe. But I'm glad they did this. No government came in and saved it like they did with Skull and Bones. That's talking about stuff that should have been put out to pasture. But again, like the article said, Beyond Good and Evil 2 is still a thing, however. And I swear to you, if it comes out and it's like, oh yes, the Malaysian government wanted to make sure Beyond Good and Evil 2 came out, I will literally, not literally, but because I have no power here, I will literally find a way to bomb Malaysia and be like, you know what, you guys.
Oh, Derek, don't say that. Nah. He does not mean that. He just said that was hypothetical.
I literally don't. But I'm literally, these foreign governments need to quit saving crappy Ubisoft games.
Well, and it's interesting, just side note, it's it tells me a lot about the health of a company when they have to have governmental entities invest in certain games. That tells me a lot about the health of a company.
Now, obviously, getting down to the brass tacks and looking at Ubisoft in general, of course, they have we just read the 5 creative houses are going to be responsible for each individual thing. Fine, cool, whatever. It still doesn't mean they're going to put out quality games necessarily. It just means that they're not going to have long. It just means Ubisoft is looking at long are the days gone of having 20 studios help on one game. You know what I mean? They're going to make sure that each studio is working on something rather than just coming in at the last minute to be a support studio. But they talked about it on Kind of Funny, which I already as soon as I saw this, before I watched their take on it, I already kind of had the mindset of we've seen this time and time again. Square Enix did it, WB kind of did it to an extent, but I think Ubisoft is doing this with restructuring, canceling projects, especially mobile games and all that. And then 7 got delayed. One of them is rumored. It's not confirmed, but we all can expect that one of the delayed games was the Assassin's Creed Black Flag remake, which is fine, cool. That game is one of the last great Assassin's Creed games, in the early years. So give that game its just due. But Ubisoft, I think, is trying to make it, spruce itself up to look sexy for a sale. So whether that's selling off to the rest of, it's not Vivendi. Who was the one that Tencent? Whether that's Tencent, whether that's
Saudi Arabia, Savvy,
exactly. Whomever is interested in buying Ubisoft, I think this is them trying to slim down their portfolio and make them easier to sell.
Yeah, it's kind of a double-edged sword here. If Prince of Persia was ready to come out in the next few weeks. It's kind of weird to scrap it at this point, even though like it's like it might not have been great, but it's like you've already invested in this. So I see it as a tax write-off. And then all of these others are tax write-offs.
Like the Batwoman movie.
Yeah, I think it was Batgirl. But
Batgirl, sorry.
It's exactly what WB was doing with that and several other things that they were doing. And now I'm fine with them putting like all of these like copacetic kind of things or people that they trust, in certain things. But we're also seeing closures of studios. We're seeing consolidation, streamlining, as they love to say. We're streamlining our processes. And I agree. It does feel a lot like they're getting ready to sell to some entity. We saw EA get sold last year, which was kind of crazy to think about. Ubisoft is like really the last bastion of a big triple A independent, of any other group. Yeah. Because Activision Blizzard sold to Xbox, EA sold to Savvy last year. So it's like, they're the ones that are just kind of out there. There are other bigger, but they're not like that massive. Like this is one of the massive ones. I don't know who has the money or who is going to be, let me say this, who's going to be stupid enough to buy Ubisoft? That's my biggest thing, because there are so many HR bombs that are waiting to go off in that company. Plus, no one really cares about Ubisoft games anymore because they've just kind of ran it in the dirt. So it's like, if I was looking to buy something, I wouldn't buy them. I'd buy Larian. I'd buy,
100%.
I'd buy CD Projekt Red. I'd buy somebody that I trusted.
Sandfall.
Somebody other than them,
yeah,
I would put my money into, because Ubisoft has shown every year to lose money. Like, they're making less money each year. Their games are not selling as well. I know Shadows did pretty well, but it was like, we're finally giving you the game that you've been wanting for 10 years. And I wrote an article over on our Substack, which y'all should go check out, NerdCave Newz over there, talking about, it's like Ubisoft feels like it's 10 years behind of every trend. And it's like, oh, we're going to focus on open world and live services.
Which is ironic, because they're the first to jump on each new trend that comes out, that's just weird to me. It's like, how are you behind when you're the first to market?
Yeah, specifically like consoles and like different hardware and everything. Yeah. They love to be there. But it just feels like they're not elevating younger talent that has interesting ideas. They just keep the old guard there. That's like, oh, well, that worked, in like 2011. Let's keep doing that. It's like, there's a reason why Far Cry has just gotten worse and worse over the years. Assassin's Creed, worse and worse. Why Rainbow Six Siege is still big, because Extraction sucked or whatever it was. It's just like, they can't make anything good because they keep regurgitating the same junk. Why do they keep putting Ezio collections out, or Assassin's Creed 2? Is because people loved it back then. Yeah, not what we're getting now. So I'm just concerned for this.
Like the first, like when they're talking about the 5 different houses, I'm kind of surprised that they just didn't devote the first house to Assassin's Creed, just because it's like, they treat it as like their crown jewel, like such a beloved series. Like, again, like the last couple entries have had their ups and downs with like Shadows and Valhalla, but Shadows I feel like did well enough, because everyone, for like a solid month and a half, 2 months, like that's what everyone was streaming, or you would see on TikTok and whatever. So I feel like it did enough. But again, it didn't end up being nominated for any kind of major awards at the Game Awards. So, but again, I feel like you should just vote, because a couple of years ago, they were talking about like the Animus Project and like pretty much just doing like a live service Assassin's Creed where you pay a subscription and they'll just add in new areas. Like, instead of just doing like a new entry, like spending countless man hours to just build up this whole new world, like just do like inserts that would just keep adding onto this universe. So I almost feel like they should have rode with that, because again, like you said, when is the last time Far Cry has been relevant? Pretty much not since 5. Like 5 was the last big one I feel like that people cared about, just because of like the setting, it was in America, that kind of thing. And then 6 came out and just kind of died. Like even with Giancarlo Esposito, no one cared.
Yeah.
You know, because it was a setting that felt all too familiar. And then again with Rainbow Six, like Siege has like withstood the test of time. Like talking about a 10+ year old game, that game is still killing it. But again, their other Rainbow Six entries have failed, and that's why people keep going back to Siege, is because anytime they try to do a new one to try and emulate what Siege did, but do a new twist, it doesn't work. So it's only by default that Rainbow Six is still like as successful as it is. So I feel like you should have moved those two to like its own separate category and just made sure like your crown jewel was like put Team A on this to make sure that series stays true and is the one that keeps bringing in the money for you.
Yeah, it's interesting because you look at Creative House 2, and that's going to be shooters, but Far Cry and Rainbow Six are
shooters.
They're in the first Creative House with Vantage Studios. So I'm just like, this seems kind of counterintuitive.
Correct.
When you look at that, because the only thing that I can hope that will come out of this that will be good is we actually get a Splinter Cell. If we get a Splinter Cell, I'll be happy. Running into the dirt. Give me a Splinter Cell before you do. Running into the dirt.
Right.
We got a few questions, though, I want to hit. Amy said, would it be worth buying Ubisoft in order to clear house and build it back up? I think it actually could be, because if you got the Gilmo family out of there, you would be so much better off.
Which I've been meaning, I was finding a way to insert this question. Do you think that if they sell that Yves Guillemot steps away, or is he going to do like a Bobby Kotick and kind of stay there until they give him like a golden parachute out?
It could be part of the deal, but if I was holding the bag, the money, I'd be like, you and your ilk gone. Yeah. All the people that you have harbored, that have had ill intent, have harmed people, gone. We're clearing house, and we're doing a full overview of your books, of your personnel, HR records, everything, because we're going to get rid of the bad eggs. That's that's how I would do this. I would not, you never buy something sight unseen, because man, you're going to get in some hot water. And if you can get rid of the Gilmo family, you would be in a much, much better place. And then bring up the talent, because there are talented people at Ubisoft, and get rid of the AI writing dialogue as well.
God, yes. Oh my. Whew. Anyway, I don't want to get on that tangent. That's not what we're here for tonight.
Nate says Assassin's Creed died when they killed Desmond. That was from the first 3 games. Yeah, when they killed Desmond, which was a really stupid thing to do. But hey,
again, Ubisoft, that was the turning point for Ubisoft, is them going downhill.
Yeah. So what we'll see in the next year, and what's crazy, Derek, is this was decided like in December. From like December, they reviewed everything, and then they just like, all right, we're doing it. That's crazy. That is really fast, like decision making, like almost knee jerk, in my opinion.
Right. It is knee jerk, but also, again, that kind of leads into the point of them wanting to sell. It's like, I think they were like worried. It's like when they did this review, and like in whether how deep in house they went or not, it just remains to be seen. But when they did this review, they're like, maybe they were probably already talking about selling probably before that point. And they're like, let's take a look at this. And they looked at it as like, we don't look good. Let's make some quick decisions, and this was the result of it. So yes, it very much is knee-jerk reaction to this, especially considering the timetable. But at the same time, if they do end up selling, like they're gonna feel good about it. But again, it's not. Our thoughts go out to everyone that was affected, regardless, because there was, regardless of the 2 studios closing, that's how many X number of employees. But also they did more layoffs after we talked about them doing layoffs. It feels like the past couple months. I feel like we just talked about it a few weeks ago, how they laid off more people. So, them doing more layoffs. And I know, again, they have like 30 studios under their banner. So I know it's a lot of employees they have under their umbrella, but still, like, you shouldn't have to do all that just to make your company look good.
Yeah. And like, I will just tell you what will sell right now. A new Rayman game. Like,
Correct.
we haven't had a new Rayman game in a long time.
Nope.
And when they were like, because there was a few years where it was like Rayman game,
The UV
Rayman
art.
game. Yeah. And they were fantastic. They are some of the best platform games
Mhm.
because it was like the combination of platforming, music, and design. Like, they were beautiful.
Yep.
They were beautiful. Put those out. Like, they will sell well. Prince of Persia, I feel like, because we got
Lost Crown,
which was amazing. Do a sequel, and then we got Rogue Prince of Persia,
Yep.
and like, so I think we're pretty good on Prince of Persia right now.
right?
But yeah, get rid of Beyond Good and Evil 2. Like, you don't need that.
Please,
You don't need that. Yeah, just get rid of it now. So that's our thoughts on Ubisoft. Y'all let us know what you think down in the comments below. And just a little shout out, everybody. We are on Apple Podcasts. We're on Spotify and all of the other places that you can get podcasts. Right now, we do this each and every week. You can listen and you can watch. There's a video version of it as well over there. So go check that out. Go subscribe on all those places. Leave reviews. It helps us out a ton to reach more and more people. And if you enjoy reading and all that good stuff, we are over on Substack as well. Just look up NerdCave News and you'll see us on there. We're going to be streaming live to Substack as well. But the podcast versions are going out. That is something that we're doing consistently this year. That is my goal this year, is to be consistent on getting our podcasts out right after the show. So please go and support that. Subscribe. It helps out a ton. You wonder why Joe Rogan is so huge? Because people go subscribe. They go listen over there. So if you're a fan of the podcast side of things, go check that out. Eat Sleep Anime is available on podcasts as well. And if you're on Patreon, you're getting a lot of stuff early. Like our free run review went up early. Our Gachiakata review is going to go up early on our Patreon as well. So you get to see all of those things before it hits our YouTube here. So go check that out. Support us over there. But now to the meat and potatoes of the episode, and that is the Microsoft Xbox Developer Direct. And we got a lot of cool stuff that is going to be talked about in here. So we want to know your thoughts, all that good stuff. So first up, Double Fine announces an online multiplayer pottery brawler called Kiln, and we got a trailer for all of you.
Peace. Serenity. Creation.
Serenity now, insanity later.
Now take that
Right.
creation and destroy your enemies.
Meets the heart of the warrior.
2026. Get fired up for the throwdown of the year. Kill him.
It looked like a toilet plunger.
Yeah.
All right. So we do have an article. This is by Eric Van Allen at Game Informer.
So during Xbox's Developer Direct, Double Fine took a surprise spot on the virtual stage to announce its charming new pottery party game, Killin'. Developed as part of Double Fine's internal game jam Amnesia Fortnite, Killen is a multiplayer.
Killed.
Okay, excuse me, is a multiplayer party brawler where you build pots and destroy them. Per today's developer direct, the drive behind Kiln is allowing players to build creatively and then letting them destroy each other's creations. The quench mode, for example, tasks players with picking up and carrying water to their enemy's kiln with the goal of dousing it for the win. There are tons of options for shaping and sculpting your pottery, with detection tools for identifying specific shapes like bowls or cups. Once they enter the arena, they can run, jump, and attack, and each shape has its different special attacks all their own. Plates can fling a pie, for example. Maps range from dance floors to ancient history with different lanes and avenues. Some paths might only be accessible for specific shapes, giving a small advantage to the little cups. Kiln is set to arrive in spring of this year for PlayStation, Xbox, and PC, while Double Fine plans to host a beta ahead of that launch with specific details yet to be announced. And I know, Zach, we talked about before the show how, it's kind of like seeing this, it was kind of a turnoff for me. Because this is not what we know Double Fine for. We appreciate they always make out there games, like very, silly, like indie games, like, like just weird games that you just fall in love with because of either the characters, the setting, what have you. And seeing this, like seeing it's a multiplayer game, I was like, I don't know about this. And then seeing it, I'm like, okay, it has some cool mechanics. It is still the silliness that we know Double Fine for. However, will this last around? Because we've seen so many live service games. When I first read this article, like the headline, I'm just like, did Jim Ryan go to Double Fine? Like, what is this? Like, I don't want this, But seeing this, I have hopeful that. Now, again, will it take the world by storm? Who knows? But will it be a nice little niche game that will like get some people playing and just like be fun party type of games? Yeah, I think it'll do its thing, just because Double Fine has that magic to where something that we seem as weird and may not works for them. So, I mean, they did a walking lighthouse a couple years, about a game
last
about
year.
walking, last year. So it's crazy. What is your take on this?
So when this was announced, like, I think the way they announced this was very interesting. I love Tim Schafer. Tim Schafer is probably
The gamer's man.
Yeah, like he just knows how to make interesting games. When they started showing this, I was like, I don't know about this.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, this is a very weird concept. And then as they explained it, I'm like, okay, like they were talking about, like, there's essentially two parts to this game. There's the creation side, and they were like, yeah, like you'll get into the creation side and you'll just keep wanting to create. You literally will just keep creating. But then there's the actual like multiplayer, and you can even, like, I think they were saying like you can help each other create some stuff as well.
Okay.
But the multiplayer part, where it feels a little bit like Smite, where you're going and attacking each other's base. The kiln is where you would fire pottery, which would harden it. That's the whole reason why it's called kiln.
Got you.
And so you're trying to douse those things, and the maps look really cool. They have some sponges on the maps, and if you throw water on the sponge, it'll block a lane, which will change kind of the dynamic and everything. But I like that it's like, okay, each shape, like if it's a vase, it's going to have these kind of powers. If it's a cup, it has a certain different power. If it's a pitcher, it has another power. If it's like a jug, it has it. I think that is a really, really cool thing. I just don't know if this has legs.
Correct.
The characters have legs because they're like, they have like spirits that take over them and everything. I just don't know how long it will go.
Correct.
But I think it is really cool that Double Fine is doing something like this. The Fortnite like amnesia thing that they're talking about, they do this every year where it's 2 weeks. They don't work on anything else, and everybody is pitching ideas for different games. That is awesome. When you think about like all these developers, all like when they've got pressure up above them from publishers and everything, you got to deliver, you got to put out a game, you got to do this, we money. And Tim Schafer has built a place where people feel heard and listened to, and their creativity, like every game you look at is so different at Double Fine.
Mm-hmm.
And I love that about that. So this one, it was some dude on the staff that came up with this idea and pitched it, and they're like, yeah, let's do it. And that's where this game came from. And it's like, okay, if this is just a more smaller, kind of game, and they're working on something bigger in the background, that's awesome. Like having these smaller experiences, the multiplayer thing, it's like we've seen games come and go. Not Brawlhalla, the one that was like wrestlers that Brawl Stars. Was it Brawl Stars?
Something like that.
Yeah. And then we had oh my God, Knockout City, which we loved. There's just been so many of these that have
Brawlhalla.
No, Brawlhalla is still going.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But it's like we've seen these things. Yeah, it was Brawl Star. No, that's not it either. I don't know. It was the wrestler one that Fortnite people had made or whatever.
Got you.
We've seen these things that's like, oh, these are really cool, and then they die.
Yep.
So I'm like, okay, because it's on Xbox Game Pass, it's going to be free for all those people. Will it have enough people? Like, I think this would be a great way to get, like, I would even put it out free for everybody. Let's just be honest.
Exactly.
I'd put it out free for everybody. And then if you want to buy in, what's cool is like, as you play more, you get experience points and you unlock things. So you can put like different, paint on your vases or whatever. You can have stickers that you unlock. Like, I'm not saying put microtransactions in there, but if you want to do something where it's completely free to play and then you have some cosmetics that you can sell or whatever to help support it, you can do that. But I think you just need to get this as many people's hands as possible to try to get people to play it. And I think kids are going to love this. And I like Amy said, this is for the pottery girlies. Like I think this will be a really fun game. Double Fine always has a really interesting game loop, and I think it'll be cool. It's just really kind of bizarre.
Yeah.
But they always do bizarre things, Derek.
Sure. I was going to say, that's their shtick.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Again, looking at it from a game perspective, it's like, will it have, like you brought up, will it have the legs? But again, looking at it from what the studio perspective, it's like, this is Double Fine's MO. This is what they do. And again, now, has all their games have been a hit? No. Like, I know Rad, that little roguelike game that they came out with there was like the first game they put out that was like post acquisition from Microsoft. And it's like, did that hit? No, I played it. It had cool concepts, but it just didn't resonate with pretty much for the massive audience.
Yeah.
But it's, Double Fine, again, it's like you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. And it's like, we are willing to, throw stuff at the wall and just see what sticks, but put our own spin on it to at least give it a chance to succeed. And they succeed with their games more often than not. So I feel like if any studio had a opportunity to try their hand at something that doesn't fit their MO, it's Double Fine. So again, will it be 10 out of 10, like take the world by storm? No, it will not do that. But will it have a chance to actually be talked about for like a couple weeks to like a month? Yeah, I think it will.
Yeah. And again, I think this is great culture at a development studio to actually harness and develop and stoke their creativity each year. For 2 weeks, they come up with different ideas and then they make it. Like they try it, like whatever gets voted on. I love that. Good job. Good job, Tim. I am proud of you.
A company promotes positive work creativity. That's unheard of. That's heinous.
Yeah, crazy stuff. Another game that got some love on this developer direct was Game Freak's Beast of Reincarnation. This is a post-apocalyptic action RPG, and It launches this summer, and this is by Charles Hart at Game Informer.
So while Game Freak is best known for its work on the Pokemon games, it does develop other games from time to time. Beast of Reincarnation, the studio's upcoming post-apocalyptic action role-playing game, is a big swing even by the studio standards. Set in Japan in the year 4026, Game Freak describes the game as, quote, one person, one dog action RPG. The person and dog in question are named Emma and Ku, respectively, and they live in a time where the human population has been decimated by a parasitic plant called blight. Somehow, Emma is able to seal that blight within her body, so she's known as a sealer. Unfortunately, this is an ability people fear, causing her to live in isolation from the remains of society. After forming a bond with Ku, a magical white dog with a tail made of vines and branches, Emma is told by a hologram to defeat the titular beast of reincarnation to save the capital. To do so, she'll have to defeat Malefax, corrupt fusions of animals and blight. Extremely powerful Malefax, known as Nushi, are the bosses of this world. They can create blighted forests full of enemies and obstacles players will have to overcome before facing off against the deadly beasts. Emma is particularly suited to this task thanks to her ability to absorb and dispel blight, but also because of her trusty sword, magic abilities, and vine-like hair. Excuse me. Her sword is her main weapon in combat and can be upgraded with spirit stones to get special effects when she parries. She and Ku can also use blooming arts, powerful magic moves that slow time and allow them to harm or hinder foes. Each character also has a skill tree, and the abilities from one character impacts the others. The developers also hint that the two will unlock more powers and their bond deepens. Finally, Emma's hair can be used in various ways for platforming, like as a bridge that extends forward over gaps or as a long stilt-like extension of Emma's leg. The duo will also have to face golems, robots with corrupted human souls, and meet other human characters like Brad, Kagura, and the mysterious swordsman Kunai. The game will be launching on Xbox, PlayStation, and PC this summer. And, reading this, Zach, as we're, we couldn't find an actual trailer, so we're watching the gameplay overview, in the background here.
Yeah, this is the, using her hair.
Right.
That looks so cool. I'm just saying, that looks so cool.
In reading this, the first couple things that came to mind was okay, absorb the blight in her body. It's okay, this kind of sounds like Shadow of the Colossus a little bit. And then talking about how, she and her dog are going out to fear the blight and defeat these creatures. I'm like, oh, this sounds like Kena Bridge of Spirits to some extent, so a little bit, but I don't know. What we're seeing here really looks cool. I know Game Freak, again, they mainly work on the Pokemon games. That's their bread and butter, but every once in a while we get a game like this, and so far I've been liking what I've been seeing of this game. Hearing about this sounds really cool. I definitely think I will give this a shot. Again, this is coming out this summer. It's just a different concept, and again, having that dynamic again, because the dog seems like kind of Okami-ish as well. Yeah. So I don't know. It's a melding pot of different games from when I read this article and what we're seeing here. So I don't know. What's your take on this?
It feels like Horizon and the Jedi Survivor series kind of meshed together with some Monster Hunter, Wild Hearts kind of stuff, which I'm all for. I think the concept looks really cool. The characters do look intriguing. I think Game Freak putting this on PlayStation and Xbox and not coming to Switch or Switch 2, it's huge. Actually going to run well, because that has been the problem with several of the recent Pokemon games, is that they've just not ran well. Nope. But from just the preview of this, they're talking about all the stuff that you can do. The game does look really good. It the powers are interesting, and I love that as you deepen the bond with Ku the wolf, that powers are going to unlock for you, which I think is a very awesome thing. And then you get like you're getting another cool samurai game. Like I'm always
Exactly.
down for like another cool samurai baddie that we get to like go on an adventure with. So
Yeah.
like since I don't know when we're going to get another Horizon game, I feel like this is a Xbox's version of a Horizon game
Yeah.
essentially.
Essentially, even though it's still coming to PlayStation, but we
Yeah.
digress. But it's still cool. Again, it's definitely a cool concept. I definitely am excited to check this out. And summer, I think, is the perfect time to release this, especially now that GTA 6 is well out of that way. You know what I mean? Because originally it was supposed to launch in May. So I feel like this coming out in summer is a perfect time to do it, especially since people are going to be out of school by the time it launches. Can't wait to check out more of this in the coming months.
Yeah, I'm excited, Derek. Now, let's talk about Forza Horizon 6. We finally get our first gameplay details and we get a May launch date. There's a trailer, so let's check it out. Oh, they were like lifting something up at the same time. That's cool.
Yeah. Japan awaits.
Going through the snow like that? Oh, that's crazy. Oh, downtown Tokyo.
Yeah. You always become a racing legend. That's always the goal, which is fine.
Yeah, but you get to become a Japanese racing legend.
Fair enough. May 19th is the release date if you didn't catch that, which is confirmed because it was leaked last week that that was going to be the release date. So again, perfect time for it to come out. And my first thought was, I was like, are they going to do a nod at some point in that game to Tokyo Drift? Don't know. They don't have to.
I hope they do.
Yeah, I hope they do. So we'll see. But
this article is by Marcus Stewart at Game Informer.
So today's direct kicked off with the first look at gameplay for Forza Horizon 6. We got a look at the game's cover cars, a breakdown of new customization features, and of course, a glimpse into how much fun driving across the game's rendition of Japan could be. The campaign sees players begin as a tourist who joins the Horizon Festival and climb the ranks, a departure from previous entries where the player is already a relative superstar. You'll still progress via the established wristband system, but Horizon 6 introduces a new method of progression called the Collection Journal. The Collection Journal is inspired by Japanese stamp collecting and lets players build a digital collection of mementos discovered while exploring. Players can take photos of murals, landmarks, and other scenic sites to save in the journal as well. Japan is the series' biggest map yet. Tokyo alone is the largest city in the series, featuring multiple districts for players to cruise through and recognizable sites such as Shibuya Crossing. Oh boy. Tokyo Tower and Ginkgo Avenue. Playground Games is also striving to accurately represent topographical details from various countrysides to mountains and city streets to add as much authenticity and to the experience as possible. Seasons also return, shifting the environment from winter to spring and beyond. Of course, Japanese car culture will be represented in a major way. Cars have more customization options and a fully overhauled roster for improved balancing. More cars will be available at launch than ever before, and new aftermarket cars include rare or unique vehicles to unlock at a bargain. Playground also revealed Horizon 6 cover cars, the 2025 GR GT prototype and the 2025 Toyota Land Cruiser. Players can now build custom structures from any location, and building is now fully multiplayer, allowing friends to concoct creations together. In addition to unlocking player houses or vehicle storage and fast travel, you'll also unlock a new destination called the Estate. This giant plot of land gives players a blank canvas to build what they want. What begins as a rural section of land can be transformed into mountain hideaways, your own personal racetrack, or a factory complex, and more, based on items purchased using in-game currency. Another new feature is car meets. Inspired by the real-world Daikoku car meet, this social space is always available to join, and it lets players meet up, share custom paint jobs and designs, and purchase their own versions of cars they like. New driving features include auto drive and proximity radar. In terms of accessibility options, Horizon 6 features a customizable high contrast mode to help make the game easier to play for the visually impaired. The trailer ends with a tantalizing tease of a pair of giant robotic feet stepping behind a vehicle that looked suspiciously like a Gundam. Given Forza Horizon's penchant for crossover content, odds are we'll be piloting a mobile suit, which is the perfect fit given the setting. Forza Horizon 6 launches on May 19th for the Xbox and PC, and it will come to PlayStation 5 later this year, which that's also huge news. So, good on you. Again, we got just a little tease. Again, all these games got like very in-depth like gameplay overviews. Y'all should all go check those out over on Game Informer, IGN, wherever you check out news, but definitely go check those out to give them a view if you want more in-depth explanations about the games upcoming. But this just sounds really cool. Like, I haven't been really in-depth in the Horizon series, but all these new features really sound cool, like especially like the car meetups. Like, I know that's a nod to Japanese culture, and that's what Japan always does. Like, I subscribe to like the Japanese snack boxes, which they always give like their themes a lot of times based around like events. Like, I know in September they always do like the moon viewing, which is like they always tell the tale of the rabbit in the moon and the princess and that story. So they always like to tie in culture aspects to whatever they're doing to stay true to like, and it's like talk about being seen and recognized. Like, people from Japan was like, hey, I go to this, or I've heard of this. That's really cool that they're bringing this to a video game and like representing Japan well. And again, like I think they introduced this in Forza Horizon 4 with season changes, or maybe so it's cool that they're keeping that feature, because I feel like it's just so cool. Like like it adds different elements, pun intended, to how you drive, like the traction you need to give, like the just like tinker with your cars and tune them appropriately for the weathers that you're going to encounter. So I don't know, Zach, what is your take on all this?
I love the amount of effort that Playground has went to for this game, because they're also developing another game at the same time with a different team. But hearing all of this and seeing all the cultural aspects, like one thing that I love is the stamp collecting. That's one thing, like you go to different shrines and everything, and there's stamps that you put on, like, and there's even some where they're more complex, like a different like events where you literally stack the stamps and like all the colors make a different, like a bigger picture. So I love that you're able to do that, and then taking pictures go into your journal as well. So they're really bringing the culture alive. And they were even talking about like they went and scanned, like they were talking about scanning different cliff sides, and then like fields and vegetation, like people like growing crops. They went and scanned that to like make sure like they were representing like the agricultural side of things. And I just love, and like they even went to, they were like, when the sakura blooms, they like went out and filmed like cars
that's so dope.
Going through that, and like how the leaves would like interact with like the car when they would go over them and everything. So like they have like the physics of like how a sakura leaf will like float when a car goes past it and everything like that. Those little details like that, I'm sold for. I'm, like I said, over on Substack and Patreon today, I did a little quick kind of thought on this, is that the amount of detail in here is awesome. And I haven't played racing games since like Gran Turismo 2, like really like, well, okay, let me go back. I played the Underground series and Carbon, but I haven't really like super got into any racing game in a very, very long time. This one, I probably will get Game Pass just to try out and experience. And, hopefully I don't run into Sukuna, anytime while I'm in Japan or anything like that.
You are not allowed to drive until I tell you to. I'm like, while throwing them, it's crazy.
But like the game looks amazing, and I'm excited for this. Great job, Playground. And like, hey, May is sooner here than we think.
I know. Yeah, we'll wake up next week and it'll be May. So,
yeah. Oh my God. Yeah, we're almost done with January, which is crazy.
I know.
So let's talk about the last game, and that is the new Fable that is arriving in autumn of this year. We do have a little trailer for everybody, so let's check it out.
Looks really good.
The lighting! Even there, the lighting's great. I'm glad they brought back forging.
Fancy a day?
My chickens.
So, of course, you can go and watch the full breakdown that they talk about, but we're going to cover a lot of that. And this article is by Kyle Hillard at Game Informer.
So, developer Playground Games, which is primarily known for the Forza Horizon series, finally lifted the curtain today in a big way for its upcoming Fable, a game that was originally officially teased back in 2017. Wow. Playground Games has been working on the game for a long time, but we will finally be able to play it this fall. Maybe. We'll get into that in a minute. As was the case with the other Fable games, you start the adventure as a child before learning you are a rare hero, the first in a long line, or the first in a long time. A calamity affects your home village of Briar Hill, turning everyone into stone, including the protagonist's grandmother. And then you're off on your adventure of being a hero. Apparently, the open world will be available to the player pretty early in the game, and you will find yourself stuck between two rival gangs fighting for power. Footage of the game showed off imposing castles, inviting fields, gardens of oversized vegetables, and magical mushroom forests. The protagonist was also seen riding on horseback as they explored, but I didn't see a pet dog, however, which was a big element of Fable 2 and 3. Fulton says the ethos of the game is, what does it mean to you to be a hero? You will be able to create your hero, dictating their look and clothing. Combat seems familiar for the first three games, with a split between melee action, long-range action, and magic. The player can use light and heavy combos, execute finishers, use magic like electricity, as well as attacks like the one that turned enemies into chickens. The player character got into plenty of battles in the gameplay footage against familiar Fable enemies like Hobbs, but we also saw them fighting a giant fire-breathing chicken. The bigger question mark for Fable, however, came later in the presentation, where Fulton and other members of the team talked about how the population will react to the player and what the player can do outside of combat. You can buy property and business, get married, and have kids, and there are more than 1,000 named NPCs who will have individual reactions to you, as well as their own lives. You can apparently follow any of the denizens of Albion, watch them wake up, go to work, relax, and go to bed. Among the examples Playground mentioned in terms of how NPCs will react to you is that you can own property that NPCs will live in. They will react to you as their landlord, or you can kick them out of your house, effectively making them homeless. Expectedly, they will not be your biggest fans if you do this. Characters will praise or insult you depending on your reputation as you walk around and explore. This was an element in the original games, but it seems much more in-depth and specific to your choices here. And speaking of choices, Playground highlighted the idea of your choices change the world, where some of the decisions you make will make radical changes to the environment of the game. An early example offered is related to the giant scene in previous trailers, played by British comedian Richard Iode. You can choose to spare or kill Iode's character, and if you choose the latter, his massive corpse will remain in the environment for the rest of the game, serving as an undeniable landmark that will affect property prices nearby. So, Zach, it looks very promising. I know the concept art of the open world got leaked a couple days ago, but seeing this and seeing how far it's advanced from the early Xbox 360 days, and seeing how they stay true to form, because I remember that being a big thing where you can do just whatever you kind of want and just like create your own humor environments or like, be hated or loved, have a morality system, and then like keeping with like, oh, we're going to turn you to chickens and then like kick you across the field, like punch you like a football. Obviously there's no dog. I know that was like, I know you tell the story all the time in Fable 2, how, it's like, oh, someone did, it was like John Wick moment. It's like, oh, someone did your dog, away with you, essentially.
Killed the whole town.
Yeah. So what is your take on this? Do you think Playground is doing it justice? And do you think that this will hit the mark for people who have been wanting a new entry into Fable for a very long time?
I think so, because one of the things that was stated in like the developer direct is that everyone that is working on this project is, one, a Fable fan, and two, has wanted the series to come back. Because I remember when they mentioned this was several years ago, before this one even got announced, we were going to get Fable Legends or something like that, and it was going to be
the multiplayer game.
Yeah, it was an asymmetric multiplayer game, and like everybody was like, why are we getting this? Like, this is not what Fable is. This one feels like it is more true to form, and it's also going above and beyond, which I love, because I loved buying houses. I loved like owning things in that, being able to get money, and now you can buy businesses and like even interact. Like when you go into a business that you own, the person's like, hey boss, how's it going? That's cool. I also love that, like, I'm curious how the morality system, because it was very like white or, black or white, where it's like you're either good or you're evil, and I always love being evil, go figure, guys, you know what I mean? Like, I always love being evil. I hope that they have that, but it is way more nuanced, because they showed the more you interact with people, like you'll see how they think of you. Like someone would, like one dude was dressed in real finery and everything, and he owns a few different businesses, and the person that he was talking to thought he was a pompous rich dude. Where other people, when he was walking by them, it was like, hey, how you doing? And like they were excited to see you.
Right.
So it's not just like, oh, he's bad, everybody's going to fear you. It's, or, that sort of deal, or you're all good. It's each person is going to have a different opinion from the way you interact with them, the way that your decisions have affected them and their family and everything, which I really love. And I love that we have 1,000 NPCs that are named, that have their own jobs, their own activities that they'd like to do. And that is going to be really cool going throughout the entire game, and all the different locations that they've brought back, I think is going to be cool. And plus the new places we're going to see. Combat looks great on this, and like being able to affect the world, I think is going to be an even bigger added element, because you could do things that affected the world, but it didn't change anything graphically. And I know that's not necessarily a new thing within gaming, but I do think it's a cool thing that we're going to see, like with, Richard Ayoade's like body, like if you kill him, the body's there, it's going to affect prices or whatever on the real estate around there. I think that's cool. Like I want to see all the different elements on there, because man, I have loved Fable since Fable 1, and I cannot wait to play this one. I know you said earlier we might not see this in the fall. Why did you mean that?
It's just the timing. I mean, now I know Xbox has a since they've done these developer directs, they've had a track record of, if they show it in this direct, it's going to hit this year. And so far, I think it's been like close to 100%. And they feel like one game got like delayed or whatever, but pretty much it's close to 100% hit rate. But something in me just says that, like especially with games that we've waited so long for, and like I just feel like it's not going to hit the mark, especially if it's like, to kind of bury the lead. It's we kind of buried the lead, but it's coming out this fall, this autumn. What else is coming out this autumn? GTA 6. And I know, like, if they could release in September, GTA is in November, like it's still plenty enough time to give it its just dues. But something just tells me that I feel in fear of GTA 6, they will delay this game to like early 2027 if GTA doesn't delay itself again. You know what I mean? But
Yeah,
don't know.
I feel like you get out before GTA 6.
Yeah, 100%. Like you have to. Like at this point.
Like anything after GTA 6 is going to be fighting an uphill battle for the next year. Like
Correct.
post its launch, it's the mind share is going to be so heavy on that, especially if GTA 6 launches with online.
Yeah.
Like it's going to be so hard to get people to play anything else.
Right.
You know, like it's just going to be such a mind share with that game. So I say, because we're getting Forza in May, we're getting Beast of Reincarnation sometime in the summer, probably July. I would say
like late June, early July, somewhere around there.
So like late August, early September, put out Fable. Get, September, October, all the way up to the launch of GTA and be done with it. Like you gotta grab it, you gotta take the shot. And the way they showed this game off today, I feel pretty confident. Yes, it could be vertical slices all day long, but it felt like it was a little bit more than just like, okay, these are just like preordained things that they're trying to show. So that made me pretty excited about it. But man, I've been skeptical of this new Fable since we saw it. Every time we've seen it, I'm like, I don't know, like this doesn't feel. And one thing that they really brought home was like, we're bringing back the British humor. We're really wanting to nail that home. And of course, having Richard Ayoade like in the game is testament to they're really going to lay into that, because that's one of the best parts of Fable is like, I just remember you could literally like one of the quick like actions, you could literally just like fart or whatever. It's like, it's stupid stuff like that, but it's like the humor is such a big part of these games, and I'm glad that they're bringing that back. So I'm excited. Derek, I want to ask, what would you give this developer direct on an A, B, C, D, F grade, the American grading system? What would you give this?
I would give this a strong A plus. Like, obviously, it's not perfect because, again, while it was great, like having like the Double Fine game to me, I think was like the weakest part of this developer direct. But I mean, it was definitely carried by Playground. Like the fact that Playground is putting out they're taking a page from Obsidian's playbook and be like, all right, Avowed is in February and we're going to release Outer Worlds in October. They're taking the page like it's going to be a closer release schedule between Forza and Fable, but my God, like it's going to be the year of Playground games. It's going to be a crazy year for them, but a strong year if both of these games hit the mark. Zach, what would you give it? I want to go back and ask you a question about Fable that I did in YouTube, but I want to hear your grade. What would you give their grade?
I would give it, like you gave yours pretty high. Like I feel like I'm higher on this, but I want to give it an A. I'm not going to say an A plus just because Double Fine was weaker. Yeah. But I do feel like this was probably the best developer direct that we've ever had.
Correct.
Like it was strong start to finish, even with Double Fine. And I think the Double Fine stuff was interesting. Once I kind of like got the I don't know about this out of my mouth, I was like, okay, this is actually pretty cool, because you could tell the passion. I think that was the thing that won me over for Double Fine, was the like utter passion for this small weird game. And I'm like, okay, Tim, if you believe in this, I'm going to believe in it as well.
You got to believe
it.
So, right. So the question I want to circle back to with Fable is, again, kind of like blink and you miss it type of thing. And we were kind of reported on it that it was a rumor. It's coming to PS5. So my question to you is, now obviously they like to, some releases have come, day and date, like with the Xbox release. Some are kind of being spread out. Regardless of when the PS5 version launches, will you get this? Will you stay true to form on Xbox and continue, or will you go to the other side and play it on your first Fable on PlayStation?
I got to play it on Xbox. Like it's just,
that's fair. Dance with the one that brought you.
Yeah, it just feels weird to play it on PlayStation. You know what I mean? And it's like I played everyone. And it's like one of the reasons I got an Xbox is to play Fable back in the
Right.
day. So it's like, yeah, I'm gonna play it on there. Plus, it's like Game Pass, you get it with it,
Correct.
and then you also get access to Forza Horizon 6. You get Beast of Reincarnation and Kill, like all of that with Game Pass. It's like,
Despite the fact that Game Pass is going to absurd prices, they're going to bring you back anyways.
hey, at least for a month or two, I'll get Game Pass again just to be able to play it.
That's fair.
And you get Alters is on there, you get Expedition 33. I'm not preaching for Game Pass, but there is still some really good games on that.
Right.
So yeah, that's my I'm gonna dance with the one that I brought, you know what I mean?
Fair enough.
Let's jump into the Patreon quick hits. The Patreon quick hits are brought to you by our wonderful, our exuberant, our excellent, our other adjectives insert here patrons. Go support the NerdCave by getting your very own NerdCave membership to help us continue to make awesome shows just like this one. We're doing a ton of awesome stuff with anime right now. There's so many cool shows that are coming out, so make sure to go over there and support, because if you're supporting, you're getting our reviews early before they ever hit the YouTube channel. You can go watch our free run right now, which will come out tomorrow on this channel, but you get to watch our Gachiakata. There's so many things that are coming out for our Patreon members. You can choose whichever tier fits your budget, and if you don't have any bucks to toss, that's totally fine as well. You can get a free membership. You get to see some of the things that we're putting out over there that are for our free members as well. So become part of the ship, part of the crew over on patreon.com/nerdcave and help out this 1.5 person business. Keep the lights and the mics on. Now it's time for the Patreon quick hits.
Starting off, Fatal Fury City of the Wolves Season 2 kicks off with Kim Jae-hoon out today. Hyperpixel is planning to release Hytale on consoles at a later stage. Neo 3 demo is set for January 29th, and save data will carry over to the full game, which I believe they've done that for the other demos in the series. Elden Ring Night Rain patch buffs all the worst Nightfarers. Following that, Elden Ring Night Rain DLC sees surge of negative Steam reviews thanks to the baffling new map full of bottomless pits. Fallout Shelter is now an Amazon reality competition TV series where contestants live together inside a vault. New World Eternum is being pulled offline on January of 2027 and is no longer available on storefronts. However, the Rust director is offering $25 million to save Eternum from being pulled offline. Sonic the Hedgehog 35th anniversary plans revealed by Sega includes a high-energy slate of anniversary programs. Following that, The Chaotix Case Files is a Sonic the Hedgehog audio drama coming to podcast services on Tuesday. Yakuza Kiwami 3 and Dark Ties is getting a demo ahead of the game's release. Following that, Yakuza 3 Remastered won't be available as a standalone purchase following Kiwami 3 and Dark Ties release. Resident Evil Requiem Classic Difficulty Mode brings back ink ribbons to save your progress. Ace Combat 7 Skies Unknown sales have reached 7 million worldwide. Let's go. The Division executive producer Julian Garrity has departed Ubisoft for EA a week after he's been hyping up The Division 3, but I digress. The Legend of Zelda movie to stream exclusively on Netflix following theatrical release. The God of War TV show adds Teresa Palmer as Sif, but that's not the only one, as God of War grows as Max Parker signs on to play Heimdall in the live-action show. Assassin's Creed Hexy hires lead scriptwriter Christopher Grilly, a series vet who has worked on Origins and Valhalla. Rumor, Resident Evil Code Veronica remake is set for a 2026 reveal, but a Resident Evil 5 remake is not in the works. Rockstar reportedly gives terminally ill fan a chance to play GTA 6 ahead of release. Let's do some bait and switch, like sleight of hand. It's like, we're doing union busting over here, but we give a dying kid with or a dying person a chance to play our game ahead of launch. But whatever. Good for the person, by the way. Like, glad that they got to fulfill that. But Rockstar, we're not fooled. That genjutsu of that level does not work on me. Marathon finally gets an official release date for March 5th, and I've got thoughts on that one. Marathon is getting a limited edition PS5 DualSense controller and Pulse Elite wireless headset. Marathon's stacked voice cast includes Jennifer English, Ben Starr, Roger Clark, Dave Fennoy, and Neil Newbon. Ex-Assassin's Creed boss suing Ubisoft for 1.3 million CAD, which is their currency, alleges his disguised dismissal was to avoid severance pay. Tomb Raider co-creator reveals Japanese publisher wanted an anime-style redesign for Lara Croft. Hitman World of Assassination is adding cross-progression on February 3rd. Baldur's Gate 3 and Divinity Original Sin 2 sales jump on the back of Larian's Divinity announcement. Former Nintendo of America president Doug Bowser joins Hasbro board weeks after retirement. This kind of issues when Reggie went to GameStop, but not in the same ilk. Fortnite tease seems to confirm the Office crossover for Chapter 7 following rumors. Following that, Fortnite gets a new roguelike map and a visit from Jason Statham. Following that, Fortnite adds limited-time Fall Guys mode Crown Jam, a mix of basketball, football, and obstacle courses. Former World of Warcraft producer joins Riot Games, sparking hope that the League of Legends MMO might actually come out. Razer CEO believes gamers will eventually come around on generative AI use in development. Again, as a tool, yes. As a means to replace workers, no. Halo Studios says Halo Campaign Evolved is paving the way to expand our Halo universe, and that's how we see it. Gore Verbinski says using Unreal Engine for visual effects in movies is the greatest slip backwards. Crimson Desert has officially gone gold ahead of its March 19th release date. Let's go. That's a go for you, Zach. Battlefield 6 Contaminated map revealed for Season 2 with classic Battlefield 4 map also confirmed to return. Expeditions 33 sets world record for Game of the Year awards, surpassing Elden Ring. Let's go. GameStop says it is shutting down a Switch 2 trade-in exploit that worked as an infinite money glitch. And lastly, Arc Raiders dev says its players who spawn late don't realize they economically profit way more than players who don't.
Well, there you go, everybody. That is our episode this week. We'll be back on Tuesday for more Expedition 33. Tomorrow is our Free Run Season 2 Episode 1 review. Make sure to check that out, and so many more things are coming your way. You don't want to miss it. We're here. We're having a great time. We're loving to chat about video games. You can check us out on youtube.com right here. You can check us out on patreon.com/nerdcave. You can check us out over on Substack as well. Thank you so much for being here. This has been Zach
and Derek.
Y'all have a blessed week. Bye-bye.